talk about one runner who finished the Boston Marathon just yesterday, but she did so with her mother standing by. I'm sure a very proud mom, but mom ended up being injured in the explosion, as did, as we now know, some 176 people who've been taken to area hospitals such as Brigham and Women's, where I am right here in Boston. I want to bring in Rebecca Roach. She is joining me here. And Rebecca, tell me, was this your first marathon?
Yeah, that's correct. This was my first marathon.
And how are you?
I'm okay, shaken up, but not nearly as much so as my mom and one of my good friends.
Let's talk about your mom. Your mom drove quite a ways, a couple hundred miles from what I've read, to watch you from the side, right near the finish line. What happened? How close was she to the bomb?
As far as I understand, she was right next to the bombs. My mom and dad drove from the Chicago area out here, and my mom and some dear friends were at the Marathon Sports Store where a lot of damage took place.
And so you finished the marathon seconds before the bombs went off, correct?
Yes, that's correct. The bombs went off.
So,
I should say I finished, and I was literally getting wrapped in my Mylar blanket and heard the first explosion, turned and looked and realized it had to have been right in front of Marathon Sports where my family were standing, and tried to go back. I was obviously pushed away for good reason from the police, but then heard the second bomb, tried to rush back again. I wasn't allowed back. So it was quite a while before I was reunited with my family and especially my mom.
So may I ask, how old is your mother?
She's 60.
She's 60. So you can't get to your mother, as you say, understandably so. They're, police and EMS, kudos to them, rushing towards people like your mom to help them. When did you finally see your mother? Give her a hug.
It wasn't until I was reunited with everybody but my mom. We had some trouble finding out where she was triaged to, and then found out she was at Tufts Medical Center pretty late in the day, but finally saw her, it was about 9:30 p.m. last night. And this was after she had surgery.
Before I let you go, Rebecca, I just have to ask, I flew in here to Boston a couple of hours ago, and I was really surprised by how many people were walking around waiting for their flights, wearing their marathon jackets. When you slip your marathon jacket on now, how do you feel? What does that symbolize for you?
At this point, it's, to me, pride of a community coming together in circumstances that were devastating, but the Boston community and the running world is strong, and we have a very strong spirit.
It's tough to hear, Rebecca. The few words I heard was a sense of community, and that sort of echoes what some of the folks I asked about in the airport. Rebecca Roach, we're glad you're okay. We're glad your mom's okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Hey, welcome. We want to welcome our viewers in the United States and watching around the world now at the top of the hour. This is our continuing coverage of the Boston Marathon tragedy. I'm Anderson Cooper, live near the scene of the bombings, just a couple of blocks away. We are following two big stories right now. First, American Airlines has grounded all of its flights. They say this is due to troubles with its reservation system. There's no reported link between this mass grounding and the Boston bombings investigation. We're trying to get more information. American Airlines handles an average of 3,400 flights per day with 250,000 passengers. Obviously, this is a huge story that's going to affect people traveling around the country. The airline says this system-wide ground delay will be in effect until 5 p.m. Eastern. We also want to get you updated on the latest developments in the bombing here in Boston. Here's what we know at this hour. Now, a federal law enforcement official tells CNN that a timer was likely used to activate the bombs, and they were not detonated remotely. That's likely used. We also know that both the deadly bombs were apparently placed inside metal pressure cookers and hidden inside backpacks. Doctors believe that pellets, nails, carpenter nails, and other sharp objects were packed inside the bombs and used as projectiles meant to inflict maximum damage on people when the bombs exploded.
There are a variety of sharp objects that we found in their body. Probably this bomb had multiple metallic fragments in them, and we removed pellets and nails.
We are expecting another press conference at Mass General shortly. We will bring that to you live. President Obama earlier today called the attacks an act of terror.
This was a heinous and cowardly act. And given what we now know about what took place, the FBI is investigating it as an act of terrorism. Anytime bombs are used to target innocent civilians, it is an act of terror.
Well, the president also added, of course, that this is still unclear who carried out the attack and exactly why. Unclear whether it was a foreign individual or group, a domestic individual or group. 11-year-old Aaron Hearn was one of the people wounded in the attack yesterday. He is currently in the hospital being treated for his injuries. His father, Alan, joins us now by phone. Alan, thank you so much for being with us. I'm so sorry for your son, his injury. How is he doing?
He's doing okay right now. He's in an ICU at Children's Hospital. He sustained a pretty large shrapnel wound to his left leg. It's kind of like a war wound, but he was hit kind of on the outside part of his leg, so fortunately it didn't hit an artery, it didn't break a bone, and it didn't damage a vein that returns blood to the heart. So right now they're just going to let him sleep today. Tomorrow they're going to look at the wound again, clean it, see if there's any fragments they missed, see how much skin that they can salvage. If not, you may have to have a skin graft somewhere down the road. But otherwise, he's stable, and it could have been a lot worse. He's got a lot of abrasions and scrapes on his body, but the majority of the blast hit him on his left side of his body, and I guess obliquely hit other parts of his body, but those are just superficial, and they should heal with no real problem.
Has he talked to you or asked you about what happened? And I'm just wondering, as a parent, what do you say? And this is something that a lot of parents are facing right now.
Not yet. He's mostly been sedated to just keep him comfortable. When they moved him in his bed today, he did kind of wake up for a few minutes. He knew we were in the room. He opened his eyes, kind of fluttered his eyes, raised his arm and squeezed our hand. And he knows we're there. But we didn't want to get him too excited because you can see on the monitors his heart rate would go up a little bit. And then a few minutes later, he would kind of drift back off into sleep. So they're just going to try and keep him comfortable today. And then maybe tomorrow sometime they'll start to bring him out where he can talk to us. But right now we don't really know what he saw, what he remembers, what kind of help he's going to need later.
Well, listen, I don't want to intrude on your privacy, and I know you're probably inundated right now, so I just want to thank you for talking with us. Please, our thoughts and our prayers are with your son and your family, and obviously all those who have been affected by this tragedy. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.